Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this French campaign. Last time around we tried to attack the island of Ceylon. Didn't go too well. And today we're gonna have to leave. But our eye is still set on India. What we're gonna do is I want to avoid this fleet. Now, even though their strongest ship is a 40-gun frigate compared to our 58-gun war galleons, and they have a lot of like tiny ships. They're just so many they'll swarm us, so we want to stay away from that. Originally I've planned to land here just to stay away from any action, but as I recall we were able to pull away with what, almost, I mean, even if it's just 1,000 or I think it was closer to 2,000 men we were able to pull away with, or like 1,500 maybe. I can't remember what I'm trying to say. Anyways, we're gonna take the fleet, and I'm thinking we're gonna go for... at first, I thought we'll go here, because it's closest, and that would make sense. However, if we want a proper recruitment center, we should go for Calcutta. And it's also quite far away from all the other settlements. It's sort of as far away, it's, I mean... instead of the island, it's about as far away from France as you can get, but still. And also, so what we're gonna do is I'm banking on there's no one in this harbor, and so we can stay safe here, and then next turn we'll jump to the port of Calcutta, and then we'll land our troops there. Now, as we can see, we could have probably quite have easily taken this fort, or at least laid siege to it quite well. But I'm gonna try this. Also, I wonder if we'll be replenished while we're at sea. If we come there with like our army fully replenished on the ships, that would be wonderful. But I cannot doubt it. Then we head back to Europe, and before we end turn, I want to build a trade port here so we can actually trade, get some trade out of Naples. And then also, we're gonna have to have a little bit of a naval fight because this port needs to stay open. And I should probably build a dedicated fleet just to protect this port. Boom boom. So they have 2 ships against our 5, but it's still gonna be quite dodgy because this ship is quite a bit larger than our ships. It's got a lot more cannons, and it's got slightly higher firepower. The thing is, I might use this fleet to protect this, or at least for quite a while, because the army in Naples is gonna have to stay there quite a while, because we've got 12 points of unhappiness due to the fact that we are holding it. So apparently they were quite comfortable under Mughal rule. With that said, we're going to jump this one through quite quickly. For once, I had a naval battle that I thought I did pretty well in. We were able to take one of the ships captive and sunk the other one with minimal losses to our own. You can only tell by here. We lost, a handful of cannons on each ship and barely any crew. Here we can see the loss of crew on the different ships. 16 at the most, while we were able to completely decrew the enemy ship, although you probably saw that. We'll get 6,000 in prize money, but I think it's more valuable to actually incorporate this ship in our own line of ships. We'll go to port, repair it, and with that we are ready to end turn. An agent recruited as saboteurs in Flanders, but more importantly, I had quite the scare. The pirates, not because of the pirates, nor because of this, nor because of platoon firing, nor because one of my agents in Ireland. Kind of fitting that he was killed, that Barry Lyndon was killed in Ireland. Isn't there where he starts off? So instead of just getting robbed, he actually gets shot and killed. Quite fitting, we don't have to deal with him. Lots of garrison dragoons ready to protect the ports in North America. Tons of governor's mansions being built to actually control the troublesome colonies. General gained attacking general, and yes, this was the small little battle that I forgot. In between the episodes, we were chasing down the remnants of the Mughal army that we took down in North America. More importantly, we opened up the port and now we're making 30,000 per turn. We took on the ship, it's now fully repaired, wonderful. And we should actually stay in port to protect that, that's more important. With the wealth, if I didn't already, we're gonna spend that. 13,000 to replenish this force. 13,000 to replenish this. I paid like 18,000 to replenish my marine force. We're gonna go ahead and rebuild these, even though they only really give happiness to the nobility, not to the lower classes, and those are the ones that we have problem in governing. But enough of that. I had quite the scare, which I started off this end turn with, because I saw the fleet, the Mughal fleet was situated here, to move over to the side. And at the same time we had a small force of musketeers force us out of the port. Luckily for me, they didn't make it all the way around, so I'm sure they're stuck here. And so I will be able to pass by. We're gonna slow down just in case I want to go back and take this instead. Let's see. Ooh, they have quite the garrison that will spawn there. That could be difficult. And my force is yet to be replenished. However, I am gonna launch the force. However, I think we're just gonna sit in port for a while and wait until that is replenished. Now when I can actually see the numbers, there's no way that's 2,000 and that's closer to 1,000. With the garrison that's going to spawn there, there's no hope of getting through, especially when the cannons are down to the manpower. With this, we probably have a better chance attacking this, so if it really doesn't go through here, I could just take my force and move over here to attack this place instead. It's a little bit of a hiccup in our plan, but then again, the entire expedition has been a mighty hiccup. Still, with 11,000, we want to invest that into a bigger fleet. We need more ships and better ships. Now, I've already... Oh, I didn't actually set recruitment here, but I'm thinking... These ships are really expensive. This one cost me 10,000. It's gonna cost me 1,000 upkeep per turn. But it's an 86 gun and it's got 300 in firepower. It's the biggest ship we can get. Let's get it. Let's rule the waves. We'll hope no one else... None of our enemies have anything similar, I hope. With that said, once again, end turn, and the focus is really on India. The 1,000 men inside Calcutta decide to sally forth and attack us. It's going to be a difficult battle indeed, but we have no other choice than to take it. Our marine force don't seem to be able to catch a break. We've got 1,000 enemies bearing down upon us, most of it being cavalry. I did in fact get the option now to dig in with the engineers, so we were able to create these 2 bombs in front of our position. I don't think that's very useful, but it's going to be spectacular for the cinematic at the end of the video. And that's probably more important. That's probably going to be more important than the outcome of the battle. We're trying to shoot down as many of these cavalry units as possible. They've got quite a few. Luckily for me, the infantry is kind of staying back. It looks like they only got 1 infantry unit, and then the rest of it is all cavalry, which is kind of bad given that the most sizable unit in my force is a unit of 159 men. We're gonna see what happens here. I'm hoping they're gonna ride straight into this, and we're gonna have bombs throwing shrapnel right at them. But who knows? Currently, we've been doing too well in our cavalry, in the cannons being bounced, or cannonballs being bounced towards the cavalry. I have a pretty good chance there, yes! We took out quite a lot of cavalry troopers there. They're down to 100 men. I mean, that looks like a sizable chunk of units. Not really a good angle there anymore. Maybe we can bounce on the enemy over there. They're trying to bypass us. I do have kind of a strong point in the house, which is going to be hard for them to dislodge, but the thing is, we can't stop a full-on charge, can we? Most likely I'm going to have to sacrifice some units to stop the charge. And so I'm thinking of using the cavalry and then also the engineers to hold up these cavalry charges. The one up there is going to be quite nasty. So I think we're going to do a layered defense on this side. What I'm going to do is we're going to spread this one out. The engineer is going to take the front. These guys going to go to the back. These guys going to be the second line, and these guys going to be third. Oh, are they conducting their charge now? Hold fire and select canister now to fire upon the enemy. Units in the back will hold fire. Why were 2 units of the carbineers shot? They're on the way towards the bombs. It looks like they're gonna stop and kind of looks like they're just gonna stop and fire at us. Oh, there goes most of that unit. We need to kind of turn these up to get better shots off. These are running back and forth. Canister is being fired. Oh, here comes a Lancer charge. Just in time for the cannons to fire, but it's... they just broke that up. They just stopped me from firing. Cavalry joined in. Can I get you to fire your cannon? Yes! Can I get the second cannon to fire as well? Or did you lose too much crew in that? They're not going for my bombs. These enemies are staying away. Oh, these are down to 4 men each. We're breaking down this unit though. I'm a little bit sad that they haven't charged into my bombs. Maybe we should start aiming for the unit in the back there. And so far they've really only attacked us with 2 of their cavalry units. The other 2 still remain. Oh, here he comes. Sacrifice the engineers. Charge, brave engineers. Oh! Shit! It blew up right in them. Right in the unit. And then the engineers save the army by charging straight into that. And surviving! To the point where I shot them with canister. We are surviving! However, I'm a little bit worried about this unit all the way back here. Well, the cavalry unit is gone. Can I get round shot now instead? Fired upon that unit out there. Oh, why haven't... I should have set you on fire a long time ago. Not set fire, I should have not set... Yeah, I should have set fire to you guys. Like I set fire to my other engineer units. I think the house is just shooting randomly. I mean, they managed to shoot down 6 of my carbineers somehow. Oh, looks like they're actually calling in these guys now. The engineers were overrun. All the units here are kind of overrun. We're gonna get the carbineers to come around and attack them in the back. The house is sort of a strong point to that. Can you turn your gun around? And fire straight into this? No, they don't. I don't think these guys want to fire at all anymore. Move to the side and open up for... Can I drag the enemy cavalry through the bomb? Possibly. Okay, their first attack seemed to have failed. Okay, now they're going in again. But I still have this unit ready to set up. And we're firing from the house and the carbineers coming in through the back. And I've got the general ready to aid in this. At the same time, 1 infantry unit remains out there. My cannons seem not too happy to fire any shots anymore. Okay, we have another... What was that? That was the artillery unit that gave up. I am firing cannon on these. Finally, we broke them. Wonderful. Now only 1 enemy unit remains. It's kind of the worst one though, because it's infantry. Are they shooting? Yeah, they are bowmen, so they are shooting at us. We can be assured that they are shooting at us. Which unit are they shooting at though? Oh, these guys. I want to pull back. As much as it pains me to leave the cannon there, I want to pull back and have the enemy target the house. One good shot and through that mass of infantry could do good for us. Maybe if these guys ignore the cannon, keep marching, we might be able to see some good come out of that. Oh, they're ready to fire? There's a bunch of obstacles in the way. Among other, the wall. Don't think we'll get more than one more shot. What are they preparing to fire at? They're just behind the wall. Oh no, they continue. They're following these guys. They're following these troops. So at this rate, they will be marching almost straight on to this cannon. We'll hit them from as many sides as we can. You will continue to march back. Oh, that was awful. You took 2 out of them. Fire canister then, you bastard. Right. Move forward. Let's hit them. Why isn't the house firing? Cavalry come around. You will move in. Now the house is firing. General, move forward. Right, we're oh, you were out of shot. Everyone that does... Oh, you're out of shot as well. You want to charge. All the units that want to charge, or needs to charge, will be ready. And so... Oh my god, how do you miss again? What are they firing at? They're firing at these boys. They're supposed to fire. And we'll have the general fire as well. Okay, I'm gonna set the cannon to fire through the unit onto the other side of these. Which is gonna cause some friendly fire, but that's good shot. And it starts to break down the enemy unit. And we're gonna hit them from all sides. And now, when I'm sending in the general, it's time to tell the cannon to hold fire. And leave the cannons entirely. Enemy general killed. And we saved ourselves. We are victorious. Here's the result of that battle. The enemy deployed 1,000 men. Now they only have 100. We deployed 1,000 men. Now we have 400 left. We had a few units die before. Well, when we started the campaign, we had 20 units. Then, after the disaster on the island of Ceylon, we had 18. But now we have lost an additional 5 units. So we're down to 13 units. One thing that I should say here that I didn't mention is there should be like a special thanks to a particular battalion in this army, which is the 20th Naval Battalion, I believe. They were the ones in the second retreat that held back the enemy army, so the rest of my army could get away. So I wonder if that battalion is still alive here, because they should get a special mention. Cannon is the one that killed the most, followed by a few companies of Marines, another cannon, and so on. We're down to just 1 cannon now, which has to survive, because without a cannon, there's no way we're going to be able to take any of these settlements. And at this point, given how few men we have left, might be very difficult to take a town. I wonder if I could have been able to replenish my army at sea, because if I was, then a lot more of my army would still be alive at this point. As we've seen, we've only got 13 units left. But we have got the replenishment, so now we're up to scrap in terms of numbers. However, I just noticed that the troops that will spawn to hold Calcutta is quite the mighty force. That looks like it's a lot of units. I don't know how many, so we're probably better off actually going to the close by area right here and attacking that instead. So we'll lay siege here. There's still, with this little force, it's still 2,000 men inside. We would have probably faced like 4,000 at the other area. But this would be a great start, because then we can recruit local troops and so on, and we can actually start building. Also, I did notice that the 20th Battalion is actually alive. I'm sure there's a way you're supposed to be able to... yes, 20th Battalion, the Brave is gonna be their nickname because of their feet. Did I There we go. Now I spelled it correctly. So the 20th Battalion, the Brave. Not the most chevrons, but then again, that's because they lost so many men. They did the sacrifice that was necessary to keep this army going. The thing is, though, the general, not only slandered by the press back home in France, is now going to train bloody. As I think it's a pretty... Well, I guess he would be considered bloody, wouldn't he? Because he keeps up the attack. After the disaster at Ceylon, he could have been sailing home to France, but he keeps at it. And so, with that, I would say the man is kind of crazy to continue the campaign after all these battles. But he's getting his reinforcements, and it looks like he's gonna be able to carve out a little bit. Jesus Christ. 6,000 in wealth from this region. That's pretty some to say. Yeah, that's how many millions of people live here? 24 million people. That's a lot. Or no, 2.4 million. Sorry. Anyways, I think we'll end it here. We've got 2 battles, and well, yeah, naval battle and a land battle, which was quite interesting. First time we used the sapper bomb, I don't think engineers are really worth it if they can't always be able to place them. That you need a turn to prepare it. I don't think that's worth it. So it's actually quite good that the engineer battalions were dead. You know what? And saying that, I can definitely see why someone would mark me as bloody. But with all of that said, it's time to say, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!